Hello, this is ELB. Let's get back to work. So last time we got things set up so that we could actually make the sword swing more properly, if that's the right way to put it. Um, so let's see here real quick. We're able to move forward, and we're able to ease into that movement. However, we do have one problem. The way I set it up, it was in such a modular format that we can't properly use some of our easing functions, which I only realized after spending like 3 hours on it. So let's see here. Get that good old easing picture. So realize if we segment a single swing of the sword into two chunks, its animation, we would be forced to use an ease in and an ease out, or an ease out and an ease in. Well, no, we would only be able to use an ease out, then an ease in, or I guess an ease in out, then ease out in. And in any case, what I'm trying to say here is, if we wanted it to be just this throughout the entire thing, the first half would go up to here, and then it would start over again, making it look kind of janky, which is what we don't want. So I've been thinking over whether or not I want to... Oh, I still have that in there. Hold on a moment. I've been thinking about whether I want to try to make it a stronger animation system for just the sword, or if that's going to be wasted time. So right now I'm thinking I'm going to call that wasted time and simply revert it to the thing that I had it before, or at least closer. Also, where did I put that message code? Was it in wind up? It was in wind up. Okay, get out of there. We don't need you anymore. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Simply make it so that it's not segmented, which will remove a ton of the variables and might take... Oh, no, it probably won't take too long, actually. Hold on one moment. Okay. So yeah, it probably won't take too long. What would that be? Just getting rid of these, like this whole second half thing. I'd have to remove the mid part of pretty much everything, but it shouldn't be too hard. So, of course, as usual, let's create a duplicate just in case we get like really fucked over here. We're gonna call this old. Okay. So we're gonna find every one that has end in it, and we're gonna straight up remove it. I apologize, because this might take a little while. So after we do this, we're gonna remove the code from the old sword and see if we can't get this working correctly. I also need to remove mid from everything here. Either that or replace it with just end. After all, we do have a start one right here. Give me just one moment. Okay. Nearly there. And there we go. And another message. Jeez. Okay. So now that we've done that, we're going to go and fix the sword. Start with the wind-up, of course. Oh wait, I forgot to do this. Find mid. Let's change it to end. Okay. I was going to start up with wind up, wasn't I? Alright. So first off, there is no halves to this. So we're getting rid of all of this junk. I'm going to leave just a little bit of space and a little bit of space. And then unindent this. And there we go. Now once again we got to replace mid with end. And presto, that one should be fixed. Okay, now to fix this one. Oh, got to remove that. Replace mid, once again, with end. There we go. And just one part left, the recovery of the swing. Okay. Mid, replace with end. Feeling like this little bit wasn't in the previous ones. Am I just blind? Maybe I am. Yeah, I was just being blind. I should remove this stuff since it's unnecessary now. Am I listening to a live version? I was. Okay, sorry. Spotify had a live version of a song on. Alright. I will not be surprised if we get an error thrown, but let's test it. Just to make sure. Yep, we get an error. Okay. So this is in the step event end for the first event, line 8. So this is essentially our starting event, the first one that happens. Aha! We know exactly what happened. Or was that right? Yeah, that was right. There we go. Now for another shot. Oh, I am currently listening to Glass Animals. Or I was. What the hell just came on? Oh, fuck you, Spotify. I don't want to listen to that. Hold on, I'm gonna look up a different artist then. Give me a suggestion, if you wanna. Look at that. The sword swings. Oh boy, it's being buggy as all hell though. So as you can see here, the sword is going right through the enemy without any sort of touching, or without hurting it at all, which is not what we want, if that was not obvious. I could have swore I fixed that, though. So let's check the attack state real quick. What we have here is we have the mask actually being changed depending upon how wide the rotation is. So if I'm starting to wonder if I should change the way rotation happens when it comes to the attack state, because if it's able to simply pass through an enemy because of how much it's moving, then that's a problem. So I might want to segment it so that it instead goes in like intervals of 2 or 3 or even 4. Of course, that would make it so that we're spending a lot more time on just the rotation. Oh, I've never actually messed with Java. Oh, I've messed with JavaScript, but that's not at all the same, of course. So, yeah, I've received so many complaints from my partner on this language. He gets super pissed off at it when he looks at it, which is kind of funny, to be honest. His problem with it is that, well, it's partially just with the engine, which I have to do a lot of scaffolding to get stuff to work, whereas with something like Unity, I wouldn't have to do nearly that much. Like, this is all the code behind enemy collision, and he's given it shit. Also, I've listened a little bit to Fleet Foxes. There was a song of theirs I used to listen to a lot, something having to do with, like, someone running through the snow and getting stabbed or something. I don't remember what it was. I'll try Fleet Foxes, though. See if they're any good still. What was the song that I used to listen to? White Winter Hymnal was the one that I used to listen to. Wait a moment. Where the heck did it go? Sorry, I'm still just looking at their album. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I've never actually been on Moo. I use VG for their what do you call it? For their I'm forgetting words for their video game development board. But yeah, no, I tend to listen to some weirder stuff sometimes. I'd suggest checking out Glass Animals. I really like them. I don't really plan on it, to be honest. Anyhow, so what the fuck do I want to do here? So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I can segment out the easing for the swing in some fashion. Make it so that it's at least a bit shorter. The way I would do that is I would divide it with like a for loop or something, using the amount of the swing, or like the length of the swing, to determine exactly how much it needs to be segmented. So say this step I am rotating the blade by, I don't know, like 3 or 4, or so say I'm rotating it by 6 degrees and I want it to segment by 3, so I would take that rotation for that step and divide it by 3, and then I would get 2 out of that, so I'd put it into a for loop for 2 and have it segmented that way, and I'd have to have the timer be like plus n for the loop or something, but the only problem here is that we have 2 different variables. We have the angle of the sword itself, which is based upon like the rotation of the wrist. We also have the direction, which is the direction of the arm essentially. So 9 times out of the 10, the angle of the sword is going to be the same direction as, or is going to be the same as the direction, simply because you're holding the sword out straight. But if you're curving the sword slightly, then we need to use them both. So I guess I could just segment them both. That wouldn't hurt too bad, I think. Should I segment out the distance that the sword is being held as well, then? I'm not entirely sure. This is getting a little bit troublesome. I'm a little bit curious, though. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it draw itself, as well as its own hitbox over it, to see exactly where it's missing. So I'm going to do draw self first off, then I'm going to do draw sprite, SPR, or no, I think I can just do image mask. No? Is it just mask? Mask index, there we go. So this is going to be essentially the hitbox of the sword itself that we're going to be drawing over it. Subimage is going to be 0 because they don't have subimages. X is going to be X, Y is going to be Y. Although this is going to be floored, I suppose. Or not floored, rounded. So we'll just round it real quick. Oh. Okay. So let's see what the mask is going to look like. Swing the sword. Really? Really? It should have one, though. What the What the hell? Why are you doing that? Okay, here, let's cheat a little bit then. If mask index is not equal to 0, which it shouldn't be, right? Okay, let's see here. Really? What am I supposed to work with then? So when you define an object in GameMaker Studio, you can assign it to a mask to be used for collisions rather than the one that corresponds to the defined sprite. Okay, this variable can be used to find the sprite index of that mask, or it will return -1 if no sprite has been assigned, or to set the mask for an instance to the chosen sprite. Setting the mask index means that you can have, for example, a sprite for the instance with an irregular shape, yet give it a circular collision mask that is gotten from a different sprite. So the mask index should be set, right? Like, am I going nuts here, or what? The mask index is being set consistently. So, unless I need to set the mask index in the create event, I don't know. I mean, let's try this. Mask index equals SPR HB, what was it, sword? No. Melee sword mask 1. There we go, that's good enough. Okay, are you gonna give me shit? Okay. Okay, didn't quite look right, so let's do this. We know exactly what the X and Y scale is going to be. It's going to be 1. It's going to be 1. The rotation will be image index, or no, image angle. There we go, so it's going to be the same as the sword. Oh, no problem. You have a good evening. It's going to be C white, and it's going to have an alpha of 1. Okay. There we go, that looks correct. But it shouldn't look like that. Let's try changing this a bit. So if we only divide it by 2, then we should be able to ensure that it becomes a fat hitbox. There we go, look at that. Now we don't need it that thick most of the time. So let's try just divide it by, oh, come on. Let's try dividing it by 5 instead. See what it looks like then. There we go. It looks like it should be hitting it, but it is difficult to tell. Let's see here. Yeah, this definitely looks like it should be hitting. Hold on one moment. Just look at that. It does look like it should be hitting, so what's the problem then? I'm going to try decreasing it just a little bit more. I think it's a better idea to have fat hitboxes as opposed to too thin of hitboxes. Once again, it kind of looks like we're just missing, but why? Shouldn't be the case at all that we're missing. So unless we screwed up the hit detection shouldn't be screwed up either, should it? You know what I'm gonna do actually? What's your hitbox even look like? Okay, right now it's that. I'm gonna do a full image real quick, just so I can test this a bit more. Yeah, it looks like it should still be hitting. It's difficult to tell though. I'm gonna slow this down. Okay, let's take another look. At super slow-mo speeds. Okay, that definitely hit. Move back up. Yeah, that looks like it should be hitting. So why isn't it? Maybe this is bothering more than it should be, but gotta admit it is bothersome. It feels like hit detection just isn't working right. That hit. But why didn't that hit? Only one step forward, and it hit. And at least most of the times it looks like it should hit, it does. But that little corner bit, it's supremely annoying. Give me one moment. I'm getting a lot of messages suddenly. Okay, sorry about that. Actually, hold on, I want to take one more look at this. Does the hitbox feel satisfactory for the swing? I'd say it mostly does, but It's not exactly the easiest thing to tell either. See, this is making me wonder if there'd be a better option for hit detection here. Because, for now, I'm not seeing one. I'm not sure what to think. Well, for now, this is what I got, so... Guess I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Okay, so... I don't really want to listen to this folk stuff too much. You know what I'm gonna listen to? I'm gonna listen to Justice. Huh. The setup for Spotify is weird. Oh well. Anyhow. This'll be fine for now. Although, you know what, here, I am gonna do this at least. Remove view, first off. Remove view. Yes. And then do this. Sword will be a bit more visible. Or that will be visible. Okay. So now that we have our basic sword stuff working, I'm gonna do something rather simple. Or at least I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to find the point of the sword. And... well, here's how I'm going to do that. We'll know by now that the sword has been rotated, and not only that, but moved. So, what we're going to do is we're going to find the weapon tip X and weapon tip Y. We're also going to need a weapon tip previous X and weapon tip previous Y. Or I guess I'll do weapon tip X previous and weapon tip Y previous. This will be equal to, well, weapon tip X, and this will be equal to weapon tip Y. So if you haven't figured this out yet, here's what I'm doing. The swing trail setup. Okay. Actually, this does need to be here. Okay. This will be equal to view x view. No, what am I thinking? Length dir x. The length? I'm not totally sure what the length is. For now, let's call it just 20, even though that's going to be way over it. But the direction, we do know, is going to be, actually, not only that, but it's going to be x plus. And the direction is going to be image angle. Okay. So then 20 image angle. There we go. We do need to set this in the beginning though. Actually, no. We shouldn't set it there. Instead, we should set it here. Because we don't know how the angle is going to change. So, after everything's been set is when we'll do that. Okay? Okay. So this should be all we need. So let's try this. We're gonna draw line, color. I already can't remember what I called it. It was weapon tip, right. So tip X previous, weapon tip Y previous, weapon tip X, weapon tip Y. The color will be C white because that's what the color of the blade is. Okay, let's give this a shot, see what it looks like. Well, it is quite wide. Here. Gonna do this real quick. Looks a little bit silly. Here, let's figure out what the exact length is supposed to be. So it's a 1-8 is the origin. So there it is. Meaning this is supposed to be 14 out. Or roughly. Let's give that a test and see how it looks. No, even that seems a little bit too long. But that's why we test. Mind you, this should only be happening if state equals 2, aka the actual swing of the weapon for the intent of harm. So let's see this again real quick and see how it looks. Is it being blocked? It might be. Oh my goodness, hold on one moment. Let's get this out of the way real quick. Okay. Just looks odd. Like, you'd feel as though there's more there, but there just isn't. Did I even get the right state? Yeah, attack state should be equal to 2. I'm curious. Rather than have it be so fast, I'm gonna slow it down a bit and do this. I'm not very pleased with that. Also, I should probably change it so it doesn't have player aim direction right there. Instead, that's gonna probably use the creator ID aim direction or something along those lines. Time is it? It's almost 12 a.m. I gotta get to bed soon. I gotta be up at 8 a.m. Let's slow this down for a better look. But yeah, I'm not really liking how this is looking. Oh, that kind of explains it. Let's work this out a bit better. Start should be do this. Let's put you at 60. Let's put you at 60 and minus 60. Let's put you at 0. Let's put the end time at that. Okay. Let's take another look at this. Looked as though it ended up at a spot at the end that I didn't really want it. Could be worse, honestly. Although that swing is looking janky as all heck. I wonder why. Yeah, look at that. I wonder why it's struggling so bad just to get the swing to follow properly. Like, you wouldn't expect it to, because we have everything that we need from it. Oh, my phone just buzzed at me to... Oh. My phone just buzzed at me to go to bed. How much it lags behind is bothering me. And the fact that we're not ending at 0 is bothering me as well. Why is that, though? All the things are the same. So let's make this all 0 and just start over from scratch, just for fun. Oh, missed you. Okay. I should get the controller out of my lap. So here's what I'm thinking. Or here's how we're gonna do it. So the wind-up. Let's say that for the wind-up, the sword is sort of at an interesting angle. It will start off at 90. Okay? and it's going to end at 85, as if the sword is being drawn. Of course, this means that the sword itself needs to be at 90 to ensure that it's exactly how it should be. And we'll end it at 95 so that it looks more like it's being pulled from a sheath. Okay, the distance, let's just go with 16. Okay. So we're going to let this linger for a whole 2 seconds. So it's a slow draw. The player isn't going to move at all. And we can have a fairly linear pullout for this. Although, actually, let's look at our easing functions real quick. Oh, I did not mean to go to the whole thing. Here we go. Actually, yeah, let's use in-out circ for the pulling out. What was it? Was that really in-out circ? That was just out circ. So we'll do out circ and out circ. Okay. Then, to start, of course, we're going to be at 85. And we're going to end at negative 20. No, that's not right. Negative 80, 90, 100, 110. Okay. So the angle of the sword is, of course, going to be 95. But by the end, it's going to be at 0. The distance, well, it's going to stay 16. Actually, let's have it at 10 or so, or 8, even better. And it's going to go to 9 and being pulled out. And then, since it'll be extended far from the body, we're going to have it at, like, 13 at the end. Okay, now the time of this attack will be very quick. It'll be a fifth of the, or it'll be, no, a sixth of a second, so 5 steps. Now, the attack speed, or the direction of the blade and its whole thing, I think we used the wrong one here. We wanted in circ. I want to use the same one for the blade pull. As well as this. Okay, so how much is the player going to move? Let's have them actually move quite a distance. Let's have them move 32 pixels, so 2 whole units to whatever direction that they're facing. Oh. Finally, I missed these. Finally, the recovery. So the direction start is, of course, going to be... why am I getting lost here? It's going to be -10 and -110. But by the end, it's going to go all the way back to the very start. So, to 90. And of course, the blade will do the same. Although, I kind of want it to do a little flourish if possible. So I'm going to put it at 455 instead, so it goes entirely in a circle, but it'll still end up in its starting position. So the distance, of course, will start at here, let's do that 14 instead. It'll start at 14. No, this is actually start of 9, and it'll end at 8. Okay. Then recovery time end. Let's say this will take a whole 2 seconds once more. As for the direction, well, we're going to do this. We're going to move 180, and we're only going to move half of a unit backwards. And for the direction, let's have this be an in-out cubic. Or, no, let's make it a sine. Okay, to remind you what that is. In-out sine, that. However, I am going to have the angle of the sword be a... probably an in-out cubic. That should be fine. Although, now that I'm thinking about it a bit more, I kind of want the movement of the player to be something strong. So rather than being linear, let's have that be an in-out cubic, or an in cubic. So ease in cubic. Okay. And we should be good, honestly. Let's take a look at it. I think we're in slow-mo still. Yep. Oh boy. Oh! Despite how slow that is, that looked awesome. Let's see that in real time. Okay, you ready? We still have this problem where it's ending angled slightly incorrect, though. And I'm unsure why. Also, did that just move way too fast for it? I can't honestly tell. That looks like it totally should have hit. Anyhow, I'm gonna have to mess with the collision detection quite a bit if I'm gonna get this all to work right. Which is a little bit unfortunate. Also, how did the... Can't even see it there. You know, it might be... Here, there is one thing I'm gonna do at least. So rather than it being attack state, we're gonna base it off of what I'm gonna call show line, or show trail. If show trail equals true. So, normally, show trail will be equal to false. However, we'll do this, the string trail. So show trail will equal true in attack state 2, and in attack state 3, but it'll be back to false. Okay, let's give this a go and see how that swing looks like. That looked way better. We can actually see the trail the entire time. Although it is a little bit weird looking. It's unfortunate that we're going to have to mess with the collision detection a good amount. In any case, you can mess with the movement there. Alright, well, anyhow, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful evening, or day, or whatever it is for you.